All right, the Federal Reserve will make its first interest rate decision under the new Trump administration this afternoon. Economists predict the Fed will hold rates steady, keeping the benchmark rate at 4.25% to 4.5%. This comes on the heels of 3 consecutive rate cuts. For more on today's Fed meeting, let's bring in CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger, who knows it all, I like to say. Jill, but how much do you really know about what today's Fed decision will actually be, or what's behind it at least?
Well, I think we know a lot because a lot of the Fed Reserve officials themselves have been out telegraphing what they are thinking. And it is just this. Look, the Fed has 2 jobs, right? They want to push down the inflation rate closer to their target of around 2%. We're now running at about, close to 3%. And they also want to make sure that interest rates don't stay too high for so long that it starts to eat into the economy and cause labor losses. So what I think the Fed is really telling us is they are still a ways away from reaching that target of 2% inflation, and the economy is doing just fine right now with these higher interest rates. So as a result, they have told us time and time again they're data dependent until they see more evidence that inflation is moving lower and maybe evidence that the economy is doing just fine. They don't have to do anything. So a pause in their rate cut campaign is what is widely expected.
We just looked at a graph showing that inflation hit its lowest rate around September of last year. It's slowly inching its way back up, which speaks to just how delicate things are. I'm wondering how Trump's new policies may impact the Fed's decision, especially when you look at things like tariffs that he's threatening.
Yeah, I mean, the tariffs are really going to be critical. We don't know what these tariffs are right now. We have broad announcements of what the intentions could be, but until we get specifics, it's hard to judge how that could impact the economy. Here's what we know. When a tariff is slapped on an imported good, who pays for that? Well, the importing U.S. company. And if that company were to pass along that increase to the consumer, we could see inflation rise. We also have a separate policy on immigration that could have a significant impact on the labor market. And think about industries that rely on a lot of immigrant population. Think about agriculture or, a lot of the meat packers or construction. And I think that these 2 big Trump policies could actually impact the economy. But again, without the details, it's really hard to know. And I think that's another reason that the Fed just wants to wait and see what is announced, what is implemented, and how those policies impact the overall economy. That will give the Fed much more direction in the future.
Yeah, and especially the Fed Chair Jerome Powell's comments and remarks. I know you're always interested to see what words he does and does not use. Jill Schlesinger, thanks for joining us this morning. Appreciate it.